Uber has only recently announced that it will remove all ICE vehicles from its fleet by 2030. The man who replaced founder Travis Kalanick as CEO of Uber in 2017 recently explained that the company hopes to be entirely electric in some of the biggest continents around the globe. So stay tuned to find out why and how Uber plans to achieve this along with other electric vehicle news. First up, Uber is expanding their electric vehicles and have big goals of a more green future. Here's what you need to know. Uber has stated that by 2030, it would have phased out all ICE vehicles from its fleet. According to Dara Khosrowshahi, who took over for Uber's founder Travis Kalanick as CEO in 2017, recently explained that their goal is to run entirely on electricity in the US, Canada, and Europe by 2030. Khosrowshahi responded to a question about hybrids by saying that he places them in the same category as ICE vehicles and that they will also be phased out by the Uber fleet by 2030. No, if we're doing our jobs, we'll be all electric, said the crew. Now, Uber hopes to be entirely electric in London by 2025, despite its goal to have an all-electric Western fleet by 2030. Although Uber is available all over the UK, most drivers are concentrated in London. Uber recently said that by the end of 2022, it was scheduled to have 10,000 London electric vehicle drivers. Additionally, Uber drivers in the US can now benefit from a special rental program with Hertz. For about $334 a week, they may rent a Tesla Model 3, for instance. As uptake rises, the number is anticipated to decline gradually. Uber now offers luxury electric cars like the Ford Mustang Mach-E and Polestar 2 to drivers as incentives. Uber's Comfort Electric drivers receive an additional $1 every journey, up to a maximum of $4,000 per year. Uber recently formed the Zero Emission Transportation Association with Rivian, Lucid Motors, Tesla, and Arrival. Uber now offers its Comfort Electric service in 24 locations across the United States and Vancouver, British Columbia. Previously, it was only available in California. Users of the app can request electric vehicles rather than gasoline-powered ones using the Comfort Electric service. By mandating entirely electric vehicles, the Comfort Electric service distinguishes itself from Uber Green, another electrification initiative. Due to Uber Green's lax requirements, both EVs and hybrids are eligible for the service. Uber expressly mentions Ford Mustang Mach-E, Tesla, and Polestar as the luxury electric vehicles offered by Comfort Electric. The business declared in 2020 that it will invest $800 million to assist drivers in switching to electric vehicles by the rapidly approaching year 2025. The funding is a part of Uber's effort to totally phase out internal combustion by 2030, coupled with the expansion of Uber Green and Comfort Electric services. Uber CEO Dara Khosrowshahi recently reaffirmed this objective in an interview with CBS News. Drivers who have not switched to an EV by 2030 won't be able to work for the company, claims Khosrowshahi. Drivers who make the transition and use the Comfort Electric service will receive an extra $1 per ride, with a cap of $4,000 per year. Now, in other EV news, China hopes to take over the electric car market in Australia. Here's all the details you need to know. Even before petrol cars are phased out, China already has a massive 83% market share in Australia's sales of electric vehicles. After the Greens agreed to support Labor's legislative climate change goal of a 43% reduction in carbon emissions by 2030, an EV last month became the fourth most popular automobile in Australia. And of course, China, Australia's largest trading partner, is actively pursuing the warming of economic ties at the same time that sales of electric vehicles soar. Now, most electric vehicles, EVs, are manufactured in China, with Shanghai-built Teslas, an MG SUV, Volvos, and a six-figure BMW leading the market. According to data from the Federal Chamber of Automotive Industries, fully electric vehicles manufactured in China held a commanding 82.6% dominance of the EV market in Australia just last month. Australia is more dependent on China than it is on any other country for electric automobiles. As supply chain restrictions hit, over a third of Australia's imports originate from China, with telecommunications gear, computers, furniture, and strollers leading the list. With more than 95% of newly sold vehicles in Australia still having a petrol or diesel engine, Chinese cars only have a minuscule 10% market share, with the top three exporters being Thailand, Japan, and South Korea. But the EV market is skillfully being dominated by China. Now, with 2,380 orders placed, the Shanghai-made Tesla Model 3 has surpassed the Toyota Land Cruiser four-wheel drive as the fourth most popular automobile in Australia. With a starting price of $63,900, China has replaced the United States as the source of Australia's most popular electric car since last year, and 7,037 sold so far in 2022. In the first month, it was available for purchase in Australia. The Tesla Model Y, which has a starting price of $72,300, and is likewise built in China, found 1,017 new owners. For the Australian market, Elon Musk's electric car company also produces the Model S and Model X in Fremont, California. Still, so far this year, only Chinese-made Teslas have been offered locally within Australia. In other news, Ford and Mercedes are hoping to take over the electric van space. Ford is strongly depending on its upcoming e-Transit and e-Transit Custom commercial vans to spearhead its electric drive. Although the three-pointed star is expected to outsell Ford in this regard, when Ford first unveiled the e-Transit in October 2021, they said it will go on sale in the middle of 2022. After that deadline passed, the business acknowledged the e-Transit would now launch in 2023, most likely in the first half of the year. A few weeks after Ford announced its intention to build an electric van, Mercedes-Benz revealed it would start selling not one, but 3 battery-powered load luggers in 2022. The e-Vito commercial van will also be available from the German company. Despite neither being present in the nation just yet, Mercedes has begun collecting orders for its electric vans and promised that buyers would have their vehicles before the year 2023 comes to a close. Ford, however, has postponed the e-Transit into next year without providing a debut date in advance. Given that the additional delays may occur due to the ongoing global supply chain crisis, which affects not only Ford, but also most major automakers, the brand may be hesitant to commit a launch date. Nevertheless, unfazed by the e-delays, Transit's Ford Australia just announced the launch of the e-Transit Custom. This smaller commercial van would directly compete with the e-Vito, while the e-Transit and e-Sprinter go head-to-head. The Renault Kangoo ZE will, of course, be the first electric commercial vehicle to be made available in Australia. Still, the Mercedes and Ford versions are larger and compete in more lucrative markets. The huge van is powered by a 68-kilowatt battery, giving the e-Transit the same characteristics as before and a driving range of 317 kilometers. The commercial vehicle sector is viewed as a crucial new battleground for automakers, despite the majority of attention in the electric vehicle industry being concentrated on the rush of new SUVs and sedans, such as the Tesla Model Y, Polestar 2, and Kia EV6. The e-317-kilometer Transit's range may not seem like much on paper, but according to Ford, that is more than twice as far as the typical commercial van travels in a single day. These vans are more desirable due to their higher charging capability. According to Ford, the e-Transit can charge from 15% to 80% in just 34 minutes or take 8 hours using its 11.3 kilowatt onboard charger. Finally, many Uber drivers are worried they are essentially becoming drug mules. According to reports, some Uber drivers are concerned they may unintentionally transport drugs using Uber Connect, the company's courier service. 6 drivers from the US and Australia told NBC News that they were worried about being used as drug mules by clients. One driver told NBC News that after receiving a nearly empty plastic bag, he decided to bring a parcel to the police station. The motorist told the newspaper, "All I could see inside was one small baggie with 2 crystalline shapes in there. I figured it was some sort of narcotic right away." According to NBC News, the driver reported the suspicious package to the police, but admitted he was anxious because the client could follow him on the Uber app. According to a corporate website, consumers cannot use Uber to deliver illegal goods, alcohol, prescription medicines, or recreational drugs. Drivers are not permitted to open or peek into deliveries, and goods must also be tightly packaged. Outside of regular business hours, Insider contacted Uber representatives for comment, but they did not answer immediately. Although it's unclear how frequently drugs become a problem for Uber's package delivery service, it's a major topic in driver discussion boards. People have questioned what sort of problems they may get into if police pulled them over, or if an upset customer found out they reported a delivery to authorities on websites like Reddit, which does not require certification that someone is a driver. Uber stated that it is strictly against the law to use its services for criminal activities and that it takes allegations of drug deliveries made through Uber Connect extremely seriously. And there you have it, everything you need to know about Uber and why they are expanding their electric vehicle rides. Now, make sure to let us know your ideas down below. And as always, thanks for watching.